It was the habit of the Prophet ﷺ that after the namaz, he used to ask the Sahaba Karam whether any of you had seen any dream last night. If so, then tell me. I will tell the interpretation of that dream. But one day, very strange incident happened. The Prophet, ﷺ, instead of asking the companions, said, I saw a very scary dream last night. The Messenger of Allah said that last night 2 people came to me in my dream, and those 2 people woke me up in my dream and told me to go from here to there. Let's go. In this dream, the Prophet ﷺ saw 7 different types of scenes, and it is very important for every Muslim to know those 7 scenes. Who were those 2 people who took the Prophet ﷺ with them? You will know till the end of this video. Rasulullah said, فَانْطَلَقْنَا. We started walking, and we had just walked a little further when we saw a man lying on the ground. Now the man who was lying on the ground was just above his head. There was a man standing who had a huge stone in his hand. That man hit that stone on the head of the person lying on the ground and crushed the head of the person lying on the ground with that stone. Rasulullah said, "Fat the hard stone." He came down while spinning, and then the person again went down to pick up the stone and picked up the stone and brought it to the other person. By that time, the head of the person lying on the ground had recovered, and they hit a stone on his head and crushed his head with a stone. Rasulullah said that all this was happening again and again. So I asked those 2 people, Subhanallah Mahajani, what is happening? What are these people doing? 2 people did not give me any answer and only said, let's go, let's go. Rasulullah said that we had just walked a little further, and then we saw that again a person was lying on the ground and a person was also standing above his head. So now, did this person have a stone in his hand? Did that person have a hook in his hand? What kind of hook was it? An iron hook. What was he doing with that hook? That person was doing 3 things with that hook. Firstly, he would put a hook inside the eye of a lying person, tear it from there and remove the hook from the back of his head. Then he would put the hook inside his nose, tear it from there and remove it from the back of his head. And then he would put it through his mouth. He would insert the hook inside and tear it from there and take it out from the back of the head. Rasulullah said that the person who had the hook in his hand would first do all this with one side of the other person's mouth. And then when he did it with the other side of his mouth, when the person started doing all these things towards the person, the first side of his mouth would become completely fine, and then the person would do the same thing again with the first side of his mouth also. Rasulullah said that all this was happening again and again. So I again asked the 2 people who were with me, Subhan Allah Mahajani, what is happening? I saw a tanur there. Tanur is like an oven, but an oven whose shape is like a cylinder or a cone. Rasulullah said that when we saw that tanur, when I looked inside, there were many men and women who had no clothes on their bodies. They were completely naked, and then the fire was lit, and as soon as the fire was lit, all the men and women started trying to run away from that oven, but the oven was completely closed. Rasulullah said that I asked the 2 people who were with me, who are these people? Then those 2 people did not give me any answer, and he only said, let's go, Rasul. Allah said that now as soon as I went a little further with those 2 people, I saw a canal red like blood. Inside that canal of blood, there was the man was walking towards the shore, and there was already a man standing on the shore, and that man had hijara stones inside his hand. Now, as soon as the man reaches the shore and opens his mouth, there is another man standing on the shore. The person throws a stone inside his mouth, and the tahar person starts drowning in the canal again. And all this was happening again and again like the last time. Rasulullah said that I again saw those 2. Asked the people, what is going on? Then those 2 people did not give any answer and only said, let's go till now. Prophet Allah said that we had just gone a little further when I saw a man with a very scary face. A man with a scary appearance. I had never seen a person like him before. Rasulullah, said Maya, Narla, that the man was lighting a fire and was circling around the fire. He said, I asked those 2 people, who is Manhaj? Then they did not answer anything and only said, let's go till this point. Now this 6th scene is completely different from all the previous scenes. Rasulullah said that while we were walking, we will go to Hadika 1, reach the garden, and That garden was very beautiful and lush. Rasulullah said, Farat Raju Tawil. There I saw a very tall man, so tall that it was difficult to see his head. And there were many children around that person. So many children that I had hardly ever seen so many children in my life. Rasulullah said that I was very surprised to see those people and I asked the two people who were with me, why are they these people? Who are the people? He did not give any answer and only said, let's go. Rasulullah said, or fun talk. We went ahead, and as we went ahead, we entered another garden. And that garden was the last one. It was even more beautiful than the garden, and there was a gate outside that garden. So when we went near that gate, those two people asked Rasulullah to go up this much. Then Rasulullah said that we all went up, and as soon as we went up, we reached Medina, a city whose bricks were made of gold and silver. Rasulullah said that as soon as we entered inside that city, I saw so many beautiful people there. I had never seen them in my life, but one side of their mouth was very beautiful, but the other side of their mouth was very scary and bad. Rasulullah said that all of them gathered near a canal, and with me, those two people told the people of that city to jump inside the canal. So all of them jumped inside that canal. And when they came out of it, the bad side of their mouth also became absolutely beautiful. Rasulullah said that one of the two people who were with me said to me, look, and when I looked in that direction, there was a very beautiful palace in front of me. Rasulullah said, yesterday Gima was just like the clouds, so they told Rasul, Allah Said 𝚂𝚗𝙗𝙗𝙗𝙗𝙗𝙗𝙗𝙗𝙗, this is your palace. Then Rasulullah said, Barak, Allah Faikum, Allah bless you. Now, take me inside it. Then they said, by the way, not now, a time will come when you will enter this palace. Rasulullah said that those two people were Malaika angels, and they told me, one by one, about all the scenes shown behind them. They told that the first person whose head was being crushed with a stone was the person who read the Quran. Used to read, and then later he left the Quran, stopped reading the Quran, and also stopped believing in the ahkamat of the Quran. Wakananam salat maktaba, and that person deliberately, he used to skip namaz and did not offer namaz. Now the other person, whose eyes, nose, and mouth were being torn with a hook, was the one who used to wake up in the morning and start lying, and kept on lying till before sleeping at night. Easy words. That punishment was being given to a liar. Now those people who were burning inside the oven, tanur, naked without clothes, those people were those who used to live. That punishment should not be known to the people. The person who was in the canal of blood was the one who took or gave interest. The punishment was being given to the usurer, and that scary-looking man who was lighting the fire and roaming around the fire. He was the master. Who was the master? The itch or the guard of hell. Now the man who was very tall, so tall that his head could hardly be seen, said, Haja Ibrahim alayhi. Salam was there, and the children around him were those who died at a young age before reaching adulthood. And now, finally, those people whose one side of the mouth was fine, but the other side was bad, he said. These are those people. There were those who did good deeds as well as bad deeds. Allahu minar, this is my prayer to Allah Ta'ala, that Allah Ta'ala protects me, you and all the believing Muslims, from the punishment of the grave and the punishment of hell in the hereafter. Protect yourself from this and take great care of your honor and property,